Hello there. So welcome and assalamu alaikum and good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Depends upon your time zone. And thank you so much once again, all of you, to back on our 100 Days Digital Mastery Program. Today we are continuing with our email marketing activities, which we continue the discussion of that what we had done yesterday. So today, part 2, I think we will try to complete today. Then tomorrow we move to social media. So today, as we mentioned yesterday, one of the major campaign, one of the major digital marketing campaign, we will be doing championship definitely as an email campaigning. At the same time, anytime, evergreen. This is actually email marketing. So that's the reason today we'll go a little more deeper into that design aspect, delivery aspects, and analytics aspects, and few of the rules and regulations, do's and don'ts. And so it's all part one on email marketing. I think beyond this, we not record another content, another training point, that which comprehensive content we have today. So further, today we'll start off. I think all of you get settled in. So today we'll finish that email marketing part. Okay. So I'll connect you to the PowerPoint as usual. Okay. So once again, I welcome all of you for the Digital Mastery Program today, day 83 of our 100 days, only 17 more days to go. And October 11th, 2020, Sunday, 6 p.m. I'm live from Doha and Qatar. Okay, now, yesterday we completed this step 1. Today we are continuing with step 2. Step 2 is basically about the content and the design. So this is very, very, very important aspect of our email marketing. So now when you look at it, we have fantastic data and we don't have a proper content and design. There's no use actually, because no data, if you are not able to reach them, convert them, make them open the email, it's not much, development will not be, not much progress will not happen. So that's exactly the reason the design aspects become very important. Okay, so we'll start with the design part. Yesterday we completed data collection, data verification, and everything. So the design aspect, when you look at it, is now the design is basically, again, the fundamental is to whom you are targeting. Now that's a continuous process, not one time. Every time you need to keep changing, depends upon the content and the market and the campaign. We keep doing it. So basically the content purpose, the design purpose, to start an interaction. Maybe directly maybe a purchase, maybe an inquiry, maybe a lead, maybe just somebody is participating in the activities, maybe a forwarding to someone. So it's a very, very small, different, various of activities. But the important aspect is start with us an interaction part. So this to achieve this interaction, we need to have an optimized content and a good design. These are the two important parts of to the interactions to start happening. So that's exactly the step 2 we are discussing about content and the design. Now, so as you know, the design aspect is actually quite challenging, because you need to have a well-designed content, and even just a simple email without any design you're sending, still the design comes there. Why? Because the alignment, where you put a bold, where the formatting of that's an important part. So so in that way, when you look at it, so you have marketing process, or the email marketing campaign process. Continuously we need to do this design aspect with looking at the customer. So if not about we like a design, important is the client, the customer, understand. So they should appreciate the content which you are sending. So it's important to send to them. Them to understand it is your email content part. So never think about that. You like the design does not mean the customer like it. So when you segment, yesterday we discussed about segmentation. Based on a segmentation, we need to have a right image and content to send to the right audience. So this is quite challenging most of the time. Yesterday we discussed about segmentation, because some kind of an image and products or a color combination which you're talking about, maybe a set of customers like it. That's the reason, based on the avatar of the customers, you need to have a different campaign as well. Now, it's important part is now you also only add the appropriate image. It's the email, and very rarely you do an attachment as well. Okay. Now, whatever you are doing, so there is a risk involved. People may not open. As I mentioned again and again, that 0.3% is your 100% success. So 0.3% is the target you achieve. So that's the risk you're taking. That is more than 99% of the people are not going to open your email. Okay. So what is this email iteration process like? We know 3A principle based on when you discuss about it. So it depends upon the channel here. Various things. So tomorrow onwards, we discuss about the social media in a completely different level. But today, when we look at it as each one of the channel when you use, there's a different style. Now, email is completely private. That's a good thing we have. Okay? So what do you mean by private and public? So we'll discuss about what is public channel and private channel. So for example, think about a website. I'm calling it as a public zone. Anyone can come to any page, right? So it's a completely open. So you cannot classify your avatar of the customers. So you have 10 avatars of the customer. You cannot usually have a 10 different websites. You can have one website, all of them comes there. Now, all of you remember this, we classified the customers earlier around 4+3, around 7 methods, right? You remember, I hope all of you know. And more simplified, we mentioned as a 3, green, red, and blue. So green, red, and blue, I think we had a very early about the discussion about it. So 3 types of a customer, green, red, and blue customers. So for all of these 3 people as a one website. Now you cannot usually target. So sometimes the blue customers may not appreciate many of the content and the part you put it on and targeting your red or a green customers. Some of the people not even your red customers may not like the content you're adding, and it's too much of content they feel it is. So it's quite challenging for a public zone. And any kinds of a customer. Now, not only these 3 categories of the people, even we classified another 4 categories. Additionally, we again classified another 3 categories like audio, kinesthetic, and visual. So all these 4 + 3 and 3. So that is around 10 categories. Then there's the 10 avatars which we discussed about it. That's the customer. So whichever the classification you have given to the consumers or the customers or the target client who come to your website, they have one website. So it's a public zone. So you cannot customize for separate all this 10, 20 people in a different way. Only one website. Overall, you can have thinking about the majority of the customers how it is, you can have that way. So that's the reason there is no personalization in your website. But in your email, you can be in a personalization. You can classify your set of customers. Then you can decide what kind of messages to be sent to the people. So it is very important to have these understanding and segmentation and the targeted content to go. Now, another one is a social networking. It's again a social zone, right? It's like a website is a public zone, social networking is social zone. You have a different customers is coming to that place and they're taking out so many engagement happening there. So again, it's a social zone. People are there, and people connecting, and again, you cannot target there. So but the email is completely personal. So you can even each customers you can send. I'm not saying it's each separately, individually we should be able to do, but if you have a 10,000 customers, in that 10,000 you feel is around 500 of them are in this category, another 250 is in this category, another 4,000 is this category. So you can divide around maybe 10-20 emails in a different design, different content, different subject line, different call to action, and different offers. So that makes us a more result getting, more conversion getting. So that's the reason we should not be hesitant on it to do that one, and which gives you more conversion rate optimization, or more conversion click-through rate as well as conversion to get it. So please think about it that when you segment. Yesterday we discussed segmenting the consumers or the potential client, which we discussed about it. Now, so this is a private place. Make sure that is you are providing them a relevant message, and they should not get distracted or a disruption on this, because too much of mail also is not a good idea. The important is actually their preferences. We need to target and give them. Now, once you start doing the design and send to them, So we'll discuss the design part a bit later. So we think about how you receive an email. Yesterday we started discussing about this one. When we receive an email, what are the things we look? Yesterday we discussed this point. We immediately look for the who sent you this, and what is written on the cover, and what kind of a cover it is. It's a greeting card, or it's a gift, or it's an official letter, or a formal letter, or something. You immediately, even before you opening it, is you open. Sometimes you instantly open. Sometimes you reach home and open. Sometimes you make it postpone. Depends upon what kind of an email it comes. Right, so it's a very, very important. If it is irrelevant, you even keep it for maybe later you'll open and go through. So these are the things I need to consider for even an inbox as well. When it comes to the inbox, the first thing which they look at is the sender, as I mentioned yesterday, then the subject line, right? So when they look at the subject line, they decide they need to open or not. So this is a point we discuss about. That's a risk we are taking. So based on your subject line, they decide open or not open. So this thing, very, very important for us to have the importance to given of a subject line. How important the subject line? You can think and again and think and do it as one. So then this open rate is completely based on your subject line, and based on a subject line, you're relevant of the content. It's also important. Once you open, relevant, the access comes there. Okay. So it is basically, he opens and read, but if he's a good client and he's doing a lot of action, does not mean you send him very frequently. No, once in a week or whatever your plan, please stick to that plan. Okay. Now here, these irrelevant content only when you send. If you're sending irrelevant content, there's a possibility even you stop reading your email. So please don't do that one. So here what we have to do, we look for the frequency, we'll keep it. But whenever you send, we keep it as, keeping for their more relevant and an interesting call to action and creating an interest with them. As we discussed the IDA rule, the same thing, we'll keep it. So subject line is, give a good line, like a pickup line. You have to think about how you do that. And, to offer them something like a deal, something they're getting a lot of benefit, not you are informing something. It's relevant to them. And then instead of you, tell them what their benefit. So if he's only going to open an email, he's going to get benefited out, right? So something like an offer, maybe 10% off or something, buy one get some free, or some kind of an offers, or maybe a deadline with you're getting this is free, etc. So it's a very, very important part. Now the important part here is when you send an email like this, sometimes the industry wise it changes. For example, if you are sending retail, you have a cosmetics, so your 10%, 20% offers works. But you are selling an educational product, your courses use a 10% discount. Does not make a big difference to them. So what you're offering is also very important in terms of giving to the people the best of offer part. So keep it in mind. It's based on interest of the consumer plus the industry you are dealing with, also important part. Now, as I mentioned, subject line onwards, this is the discount and part or offer part is measured, or change will come. Okay. Now, another thing is when you are having an ESP, like email marketing softwares, if you have, or email service providers you have. So before you sending to the masses, even subject line you can do a split test or A/B testing you can do. So that is always good, as we discussed yesterday on it. Okay. Now, what are the key features of getting an effective engagement? No doubt it's a relevancy. So if it is relevant to your target audience and the consumers who's getting, definitely read. Now it's also important to have a targeted, to specific audience. Now that message, with the subject line, the relevancy to bring it within a call to action. So that's an important point. So you send out an email. Every email must have a call to action. Call to action can be maybe registering or a buying or generating a lead, maybe forwarding something, we need to make them to do for every email. And you can have a multiple call to action in one email itself, no problem. So that is completely a clear message, and it's a relevant message. And overall, it's just sharing to the social sharing. or even to come into the product page and asking about more details, anything you can have. So here is a personalization is the important part. And after you know the email have now accumulated more data, now you can actually personalize. Personalizing you can reduce, but engagement you make sure that is the percentage of engagement you're keeping it as. So because you keep sending an email and no response, we get demotivated, and we need may not necessarily a conversion. We start with the open rate first, then see an engagement part, then later conversion. So immediate conversion may not record, as we discussed yesterday. Now, once we have this in mind, when the structure part is an important part, so clear heading, and introduce a new paragraph and bullet points and numbers, and put in a columns if you want to separate something and inform. And the bold testing is important, and it's appropriate images record and hyperlink. In additional information you wanted to give instead of attachment, as I mentioned yesterday, give them a link people can watch on it. Now, so these are the things very important for us to have it. Now, we'll discuss about how the poorly reasons. So one of the if you look at the failure reasons, most of the things are a poor email campaigning. The one is too much of content. People don't read. So that's one issue. So don't send us too much of content, unless, as yesterday one example I told you, sometimes the target audience and the topic it is relevant, people read, otherwise people don't read. And it's also including, if you are putting in an attachment, there is a main reason people, you put a call to action in the attachment, it not happen usually. People who are opening attachment, they always postpone to later. Now, no paragraphs and headings is also a problem. And that's completely people don't look and feel it good, so it will be an issue. And no calls to action. Even when people read, if there's no call to action, you don't really get a result of it. So how do we design the well? So this is actually what we should not do, and that's a poor part. Now, what is well designed one? So headings and paragraphs, and make it proper, and people scan this one. As we discussed in the website content, we know that is people just scan the content, right? So that's the reason we need to have this one. This is a concise and direct subject line. We should have it, and it's a complete and a call to a very concise way. We need to have an action and including a social sharing button. So let the people also share with the social medias. And it's a balance of a text and image. So make sure that you have not too much of text and too much of image. And image, as we discussed yesterday, people should be able to open and do it. Okay, so it's a image makes a huge difference in the email content, and all the successful email campaigns, you can see usually that's come with a good image. Even all the companies who do a fantastic email campaign, like in eBay, business, actually one of the e-commerce companies, when you look at it, is compared to Amazon and all the thing. eBay is doing a fantastic email marketing, and they have a more percentage of sales is happening through email marketing compared to other marketing. So you can see their email is a very well defined, good images, and that gives them a very good result as well. Now, but the problem here is, this, again, relevant is important, and also the subject line is important, and you have a good image, and the people also take a decision with that. But the problem is actually to get this conversion rate, the customization is again a segmentation is required. So you may like one image, I may like another. I will not be related to one image, you may relate to another image. So it's a very important us to address that problem. Okay. Now, image should support this data and the content and the customer. So very important to have that. People should know to relate with that one. Okay. Now, always make sure that is call to action. You need to keep it on, and you convey recipient what exactly you wanted to convey. Put it not in the image. Keep it as a separate bold message, and people understand what exactly you are trying to convey. Based on that, people take a decision. Now, usually some of the email, will not automatically show the image, and as I mentioned, they have to download and open it. That's important. And a call to action if it is an image, you kept it, an image is not happening an issue. So You can put it otherwise also you can have it as. But actually the email marketing today, image with content, with link, that is a usual one. Very simple content, and image with content is the best email marketing part. So please utilize that way. So when you look at this way, the email marketing part, now once you design the design part, so that is, even before the internet is born, there is a kind of a people who are doing this one. So through the letters people doing, and people, when the letter come to the people, not much of a design, and people who are actually using through typewriting all the things one's using, right? Now, even a newspaper, all things are different styles that people doing. And from these communication come to the email marketing part. So when you look at it as, one of the things is actually we discussed about those, this list building part we discussed yesterday. The segmentation of the list building is an important part when you communicate with the image to insert and do it as. Now, special offers when you're giving, again, a segmentation. So for example, to a student, you're offering sometimes 10, 15, 20% discount, you might attract it. But a business owner, you're offering same the discount. He may not be, he might be looking for a quality or other things. So important. Okay. So this way, email marketing, when we're discussing about the structured one, it's a simple email. It's not too much of content. And it's definitely get a wide reach as we discussed. And it's once we start sending it is, as we discussed, it's measurable, and it's a kind of personal message. And you can have a more frequent communication. And you can also do an information spreading, and it has a very less overheads to do it with. And as we discussed, it's also reach. So globally, yesterday we discussed on 3.2 billion emails are there in the world, so we can actually reach out and do, and through mobile usage people are using. So what we when you look at it is all this designed email, all the things to reaching out to a very large number by the next time. Okay. So here we'll come back here to the marketing strategy part. There's what is the designing aspect we are discussing about. Now, in the email marketing, whatever you are taking, the most important part is the reliable email marketing software. So you have a good designed one, and to send out to the people, to have a template and automation and to the reply button and measurable to do, you're checking is a very important part. So what are the things you need to do? That's a customized message, and you should be also able to track. Now, a person, when they delivered a message, we should be able to track them. So we also should be able to, once you design the mail, and you should be able to import or export the email part. Okay, and build a large number of a database of the clients as well. Okay, so now. The list part. So before you're sending, once you design the list part, as we discussed, the verified opt-in list is very important. As you remember that yesterday we end with talking about 12 months is the time. That's a one design verification we record. Even opt-in email, you have 12 months is the time for a re-verification, right? Now subscription, that's a double opt-in can also be there. Unsubscription is, or a subscription button is required for the both cases when you send a design. So when you send a design mail also, you should have a below button called unsubscribe. Okay. So yesterday we discussed the spam, so we're not carrying on it. Okay. So yesterday we discussed the opt-in list as well. So by giving to the purple ebooks and reports, we add that one. And we increase the response rate by doing relevancy, etc. Now you can also give a lot of bonus tips to the purple in this design itself, or the content part itself we can add. And keep also short and simple, and also give them a regular update one. Now, once you designed and your social share, the design part, when you discuss with the content part, must have a social media integration part must be there. And you must have email integration with social media is important part. So social media interaction, you can, when you send an email, it also goes to their social media. When you send an email, it go to the Facebook. When you send an email, it go to the LinkedIn. So your email software service provider or ESPs or email marketing software actually allow you to do this one. So that's the reason when you data collection time, it will be good to have their email user ID as well. So remember this point. Yesterday we discussed the data segmentation. When you segment the data, you can also have one column added. For this segment, I have a social media of this one. Or you can also add which are the URL of those who are connected through LinkedIn or those connected to Facebook. we have this one. So that way you can also add there. Now, to old-fashionable email marketing, is always is basically safest channel. So, but the important part is when you start analyzing, so open rate is important and click-through rate is important. Email sent and delivered. So we need to, so once you design and send, so how many emails sent, how many delivered is also important aspect. Now, the email newsletters, as you know, we keep sending an email newsletters. The once in a week, we need to send an email newsletter. That's what we discussed, where you can have an image and content and a call to action. And that's one of the things people actually, every e-commerce company is doing this. You might have noticed very frequently, sometime in the once in a month and sometime in a week time. Sometimes some companies even doing a daily basis with the different kinds of email. So some companies doing 3 days basis. So you can have it. So ideally, Amazon is doing most of the countries two emails in a week. So we can decide. It depends on the data we have, depends on the niche we have, depends on the relevancy we have. We can decide what kind of emails we wanted to send out. Okay. So email newsletter you have to send out in a frequencies is an important aspect. Okay. Now we discuss about a little law as an guideline before we go to the third step. So law and ethics, actually, last time I discussed little matter on it. And when we discussed now, last time SEO also we discussed the law and guidelines. So every digital marketing channel which we are going to discuss, we add this point, laws and guidelines as well. So why it is important is, law has become more stricter nowadays. And because of that, not only we are getting into trouble, but also we are not able to do many of the campaigns we were doing earlier. So the laws and ethics to understand is a very important point. So important point is actually various countries has various regulations, and email is a global. So that's the biggest challenge. So when we do a global email campaign part, and different rules are applicable in different places. So opt-in list and double opt-in list and opt-out list is one of the fundamentals of the email laws. So the first thing they'll check with you are they opted to receive an email from you or not. So that's the reason most of the time it is better to have an opt-in list in not only the rule wise, even the technologies to support. Most of the time the opt-in list only they will allow to do. And of course your result also based on this one. Some of the servers, when you have a static IP based server, you need to buy on technology aspect. We'll discuss that one. So you try to upload the database, which is not a opt-in list. Sometimes they'll not upload. They'll ask you how you upload, how you opt this one. Public data you bought and you'll not be able to upload it. So you need to have a opt-in and opt-out email spot. Now you also need to tell the subscribers why the information has been collected. So to send you an email, tell them, be honest, I send you once in a week an email or a newsletter will send you, will update you, email updates, etc. We need to tell them. Okay. Now, sometime you might send another email a bit later because he inquired about, let's say, about the shirt, but later you are going and communicating about the healthcare. So he will. So that is a confusion arise. It is. So that's one of the things. Relevancy is becoming important. So relevance, the key point. Even though he may not be opting out immediately, but make sure that because there's a familiarity with your company, and he may okay to accept, but make sure that is relevant to him. Okay. So important. That's exactly the reason when you're sending this email again, the opt-in validity is at 12 months. So every 12 months you have a opt-in. You're refreshing the opt-in list with a person. Okay. Now, we'll come back to the law aspects center because one is actually before getting to the law, you ethically keeping, which is privacy is important. Then there are a lot of spam rules. Then there's a Canadian companies. There is a strict rule. Actually, Canada is one of the stricter rules, as I mentioned, for email marketing. So we need to have a very clear understanding when we are Canada market. We need to have an opt-in list. Otherwise, they can even file a case, even a criminal offense. Actually, it's not a civil offense. So we should not get in trouble. Then the privacy to keep it, the email data and email communication. You communicated various things. Somebody's email communication, you cannot show to the public unless it's a record, unless the consent you're taking from the people. So keeping the email communication safe and important. Email data need to be private, also an important part. Then there is something called Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, because you cannot send an email to the kids or a below 18-year-old, below 14-year-old. You have different rules. So when you send out, and as a company, if you are not collecting data of the age of the people, when you're sending out this email, it's very, very important for you to know that is the email regulation apply for kids. You cannot send an offer. You cannot send so many things to the kids. So that we need to be careful about it. Okay. Then there are a few different countries, like Canadian rules, there is a European rule, there are Indian laws. So the different country has a different rule. So you need to follow the rules of the land before doing this one. Okay. Now, once you can make sure that is that aspect also, you should be looking into the when you design and the content aspect. Then when we have to go for optimization and testing, optimizing for delivery, ability. So you go to spam or not, everything you need to, that optimization part we have to look into. And you also look into the open rates. How many people are opening my email, and what is the CRO, what is the conversion we are happening, that also we need to do. So this is a sample test which we discussed about yesterday. This is important to have it here. Okay. Now, it's a few do's and don'ts when you look at this. Subject line is recommended to have 50 characters and must have a call to action. And 3 to 4 fonts are the best one. And people say put your logo in the upper side of the the email part. That's a study say that people trust more, etc. And conduct a competitive analysis is important. Matching yourself against industry benchmark is another important point, because you're sending an email with the industry talking about something. It may not be a good idea. So legally also protected on that. Now, you need to choose an ESP, which is I'm recommending actually MailChimp. Last time I told you about a MailChimp to start. I'm not sure I started using. Again, anyway, I've kept once again the steps to follow. So I start recommending it. You start using, even you have a data has not reached around 10,000. Start having a relationship with your potential clients or a market and a prospective clients or a target audience. Some kind of a campaign for your maybe a social media part you may do. Okay. So very important. So it's important to building trust with the subscribers is very important. Engaging content is also an important. And the most important part of the campaign is the value you're offering. That is very important. And so along with the relevance. So when it's relevant, but why reading it is what exactly is going to gain. That's another thing. Okay. Now you also should plan your social media marketing to connect with your email marketing. Okay. Now conversion and performance. It's a very important aspect. So there, when you send out an email, we will wait for the conversion happening and the result happening. So that you need to have a realistic approach. And definitely your ESPs give you the data to have that one. Now, when you're going to send a corrected email, so email is so very important to have to the email marketing part. Yesterday we discussed the structure of the email. So email structure, what subject line, call to action is very important. Now, subject line, as I mentioned again, I repeat, subject line make a lot of importance to do that one. Now, the body of the email. A major portion of the image and the content should communicate at the earliest what exactly you are planning to do with the headline to do that one. Then once we have that, we need to have a very strong call to action as well. Now, call to action, it may be a product to buy, inquiry, lead generation, and you ask them to book it in advance, maybe sometime sharing in the social media, something else you should do. Okay. Now, auto response is one of the method which we discussed last time. You can have any time the auto response to keeping it is. But apart from that, if you're doing an email campaigning, not an auto response is advisable. You need to, once you send out an email, the response you're getting definitely deal with a more genuinity, more more authenticity, and more you need to work with that, because on a 0.3% you are getting because the response you're getting. So you send out a 10,000 email, only 300 people we have to deal with. So that instead of auto response, recommend to have a more personal interaction. Unless if you are using an AI or maybe a 3-steps email, that is one email gone. Based on a behavior, you can send out automated second mail. based on another behavior and a call to action, you can also take a third one. So it's up to you. You to decide what kind of steps you're using. But the potential when they come to us, or the potential market, the person who's responding to us, it's very important to take a proper action. Okay. Now then you can also create now you need, all the email must have a subscribers button, unsubscribe button. So you can when somebody unsubscribe, you need to have friendly notes there. Okay, that's important part. Now, future of email marketing, when you need to start thinking about multi-device, the world is going to be email and social media is going to be an engagement-based delivery we'll have. We'll also have a location-based, which we discussed yesterday, location-based marketing. And one channel, you're reaching out to the people. And of course, the smart content is going to be that one. So it's going to be a viral once you're properly done it. Okay, now we go to the email marketing software. So now once you have content ready to reaching out to the people, you definitely need an email marketing software, which is various tools we discussed last time about email marketing. Today, we'll just quick through which we discussed this earlier. I don't know how many of you started the account. I recommended to choose MailChimp. Start with the MailChimp, import, export to MailChimp you can do. And it's a very simple software anyone can start using, and it has a free functions as well. So you don't have to pay initial to testing and learning this one. You can do, and you can launch your own email campaigning. You have a lot of automated campaigns. You can a lot of features are there for automate your campaign. You also have a split testing or A/B testing and a previews. Everything is possible with that. And you can also target like a location-wise. You can target all those things. It's possible there. Now you can also do a campaign by setting time, and you can do, and you also get a fantastic analytics from them. Now, I'm going faster because I covered this earlier. So my objective is, I know some of you have not even started the MailChimp or any of the email marketing. I would like you to start with your email marketing into creating an audience, to make them comfort, give them good tips, and connect to their social media, etc. So basically, you can even start with a zero plan. You don't have to pay. But actually, I would recommend you to spend around $100 to $200 a month for an email marketing aspect. It's also good to have that one. Okay. So, but you can start with the zero. Then you can go with a few other things. So you can, even your free plan has a 2,000 contacts. You can start utilizing as a sample. Then it's how the result is coming. Based on that, you may upgrade on it. Okay. Now, it's a kind of a MailChimp is also have a CRM rule, and you can also automate it then. It also has a website builder, and MailChimp, everything is, you can actually use for this multi-purpose on it. Okay. So how to start with the MailChimp is very simple. I would like you to start immediately. This is go to MailChimp.com and sign up for free. You don't have to put your credit card. Then you set up your profile. Once you set up profile, you can create, the menu. Now you can also create a sub menu on it. Then you put a campaign name. So based on each campaign, you can have different name. Now you put it a to and from and subject. And now, subject line, as we discussed, important. Then design email, which we discussed. You can have a design template out there. You can choose your layout and templates. Then you can, within image or content, you can be able to send them. So you can actually test in a preview mode. You can use a preview there itself, as I told you, the easy to do a preview, and then start testing it. Split testing you can do, and you can start sending. Now you can also see in 24 hours or maybe hourly, you can see the performance, how many emails has been opened, how many of them has clicked. So we have a complete idea about you from the email you get it. Okay. So for this, actually, a detailed session, we have done a day on 62 on email marketing on September 16th. Kindly go through and watch on. Okay. Now we'll come back here as when a mobile and email combined is the market now. So you need to have mobile and completely, mobile. People read them most of the time in the emails on a mobile, and it's a good thing is actually they very often they access the email, right? Now, a lot of smartphone in the market, so we don't have to discuss in detail about it. But what does that exactly mean about it? So basically, you need to plan, you need to visualize. Is most of the people will be reading an email on their mobile phone, so you need to have proper ESP and email. Like a MailChimp, they'll also give you with a compatible template for mobile phones. So you can actually have more people are opening in the analytics tell you many people are opening on the mobile devices. If you feel more people are opening for mobile devices, then make sure that is you use a template for a mobile devices part. Okay, so it's optimized for, definitely make sure that is it's optimized for, even you're not using a template for a mobile, make sure that is it's optimized for your mobile usage one. Okay, so this complete the step 2. So now we go to the delivery aspect. So you are designed and you did a campaign. You use a ESPs like a MailChimp, or you can also use a Uber, you can a Constant Contact. There are hundreds and thousands of them. It's up to you to choose which one. We are using a MailChimp. You can also use a MailChimp. You can try with the 2000 email IDs now, how it works and create this. Now you start familiarizing with the platform, so you can go for a larger campaign later. Then we go to step 3, is the delivery. So what is the next process actually? As we discussed now, we discussed data, we discussed complete design aspect and content aspect we discussed. Now image and image law, regulations, and everything we covered there. Now delivery and discovery is the 2 things we're going to discuss now. So when the delivery aspect, I said, different devices we are going to deliver, different operating system we are going to deliver. So people should be able to open and read. So you make sure that is you have a guaranteed safe delivery in their inbox. Now there are many people who put some verification, send you automated message, they ask you to press this one. So it may not be good idea for keep doing it is because it take a lot of time. And that many other people keep that kind of a wall, a barrier, which people don't randomly send an email. So in that kind of a thing, you'll have a challenge. You may have to leave them. Okay, so it's a ESP's part. Is basically it's a very important to have a right ESP to use on, as we discussed in the MailChimp part. Okay, now people should be able to take an informed decision, so you can have a more information passing on, but with a simple content. Now, by using an ESP, you have other benefit, like you have a security benefits. And now many of the things actually ESPs are taking care. And it's very easy to access all your emails in one place. You can access anytime and anywhere you can access. And you can also use a very attractive templates for sending out as an image part. And it can be also professionally pre-designed templates. And you can decide what kind of a preferences you wanted. And then you take a complete insight of what is happening. So measure the success, how many people opened, and when the people opening more, at what time they're access the email, and you can actually do it. It's a 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. You're sending an email. That's a recommended time or not. Depends upon a time zone. Depends upon a product you are doing. It may make changes. So make sure that is you follow your potential customers. Targeted time. Okay. Now, as a business to business has a different time, B2B has another different time. So different people came out with a different research, but it depends upon the market, your target audience, and niche audience. It definitely varies. Okay. Now, once we have completed that, we'll go to the discovery part. So now the delivery over. So once you deliver to the people inbox, the next is the discovery aspects of it. So what exactly the discovery of? So we'll discuss. So data is our design part, delivery over. Now the discovery. So what exactly we discover? Now email marketing process has it addresses so many things on this part. So the report analytics, unless we understand what is happening, we'll not have a motivation to continue this activity, and we will be totally blank. What exactly, who's coming from, where it's coming, which link is working, which content is coming. It's very important to have. So it is very important you to need to define and understand your goals, and are you matching with your goal. Now, when you're creating this marketing email, you need to define your goal. This is what exactly I would like to tell you every time. We discussed about the objectives. So make sure that is, you have the goal and you have the objectives to achieve. You have to define, okay, I have 10,000 people. Now there's a special offer is coming on a festival season. I wanted to achieve 10 sales. So that's the reason 10 sales is your achieve. So you send out an email. Or you feel it is your goal is to generate a lead. I wanted 100 quality lead from so-and-so region. You can actually have that as another and as a goal, you need to keep it. Okay. So the email marketing metrics must include open rate. So how many percentage the people opening an email? It's a very important aspect. Now, total number of recipient open your email, and that statistic we must have. How many unique number of people open the original email? That's another statistics we should get it. And so this also make us to understand the email campaigning aspect. Click open, the number of unique clicks during the number of unique open express is also a percentage versus we need to look at how many open, how many click on a click to call to action. So here is importance, how many people open rate. So you think about your open rate, very, very important. How many people are opening your email? It's one of the major things. And once open, and there's something called uniquely open. That is, the metrics you must have a unique opens as well. Click to open rates along with the open rate, click open rates, the unique opens also you need to keep it that one. So once we have that one, so now I'll just conclude by putting all these points. So start with our objective. So when we start with the objective and a goal, the overall goal you have. Overall goal is maybe a 3 years goal or a 5 years goal. Now you divide into maybe quarter. That's what exactly we recommended. Every 3 months, what you achieve, you need to keep it as your goal, right? Yeah. Every 3 months you have a goal to achieve, or every year you have achieved. So maybe 1 5-year goal, then you have 1 year goal, then you have every quarter goal. Every quarter, maybe every 3 months, what you want to achieve. Now every quarter, when you look at it, 12 weeks, you are planning to do 12 campaigns or 12 newsletters or 3 campaigns. So you can decide what to do. But when you decide this one, it should be part of your other campaigns. Email campaign can be standalone. That is your newsletter marketing. So whatever happens, what are other marketing strategy you're doing, you continue doing a newsletter. So that is newsletter. You might think about some updation about the new products arrival, product price advantages, offers. So you can have 3 to 4 possibilities, 3 to 4 options. What you communicate on a regular basis in newsletter. And as you know, is the relevancy, you start giving a content, maybe a news update. So newsletter is always to have update about the industry, update about the competitors' information, collected and put in a more structured way, which is more in your favor it comes in. So these are the things. It's an important part for your email. The goal setting aspect when you set on. So once you set this one, you also have other goals, right? Other goals means other campaigns and you have social media goals. You also have maybe a search engine optimization goals. So all the things are connected here. Now, once a campaign is going on, your email newsletter is regularly going with the news updates and other is going, but other things like your social media campaigns. For example, in social media, you have a 3 sales a day campaign is happening. Now, the 3 sales a day can be accelerated through an email campaigning support. So now, which all the campaign you are planning to achieve 100 sales in a month. So now you wanted to do email campaigning. You are looking for maybe out of the 100 sales, you wanted 10 sales from the email marketing. So you know that through email marketing, you expect 10 sales. So 10 sales. Now, if you're affiliate marketing, how much is the commission you get it? If it is a e-commerce marketing, how much is margin you get it? So both metrics is very important. Okay, so keeping that in the mind, you need to set a goal. So this setting a goal. Now, once you're sending an email marketing out, for that, you need to achieve that goal. So here, if we don't have the connection, the goal, what happens is usually people give up later. You think it is nothing is working out. So set a realistic goal, as we discussed in the goal setting. Anyway, next week we have a goal setting part we are coming out. So there you need to get the point. So you are looking for through one email campaigning 100 sales. The first email campaign, you may not have 100 sales, depends upon your database and relevance of your target audience and what you are offering. So we set a realistic goal, and it will be complementing your other marketing campaigns. That's a very important part. So 2 points then we are going to end here. The first one is basically Your email marketing campaigns, standalone marketing like a newsletter or even news updates, can be daily or a weekly. That's a minimum thing every time you should do, and this is a continuous habit. On a daily basis, think about email marketing on a 30 minutes, collecting a data, improving the content, design, then send it. For example, you are sending every Friday the email marketing. It's not working on a Friday or a Thursday. For the next Friday email marketing, you start on Saturday and Sunday and Monday. You start working on it, thinking about it, what kind of a things you wanted to provide a content. Start designing it. Is maybe only the proofreading and fine tuning only on Thursday, then Sunday you send it. So these activities to do, these kind of activities to do, and then you need to connect with your goal as well. So as I discussed in the newsletter, every week let it go, no problem. Okay, every anything happens, this is your habit. You keep putting adequate information, maybe interviews or maybe product updates. Let's go. In addition to that, we are going to discuss like an SEO you're doing a search engine marketing you're doing, digital display network you are doing, all the thing we need to connect with the email as well. So this email marketing also should be adding on that. Then there is a goal separate. That campaign you kept a goal of, let's say, $1,000 you want to achieve, or 100 sales you want to achieve. So this, to achieve the 100 sales or $1,000 dollars, you will divide, through Facebook this many leads, through Insta I'll make this many sales, through LinkedIn I generate a lead, through YouTube I'll get this many people, open rate is increased. All the thing you're keeping, email marketing is also should be part of it. So that's the reason. So to be, when I call it 3I integration, you remember the principle which you are discussing about digital marketing, called 3I integration. So once you achieve that one, it's important to celebrate it. So once you set a goal, you send out a one campaign, you optimize with the 5 to 10 categories, and you put a good subject line and content, and succeeded, definitely you can have a next bigger goal and try to improve this one and do. Some campaign really succeeds, some campaign does not succeed. All the campaign, I don't keep an expectation that you will be succeeding. That's exactly the reason every week you have one campaign as a newsletter go. So that means every month you're trying 4 months. In a year, you're trying 52 times. So as you know, 52 times you do, even at 10% of the time you campaign succeed, that's 5 times. That's a fantastic result, because the return on investment is very simple calculation is done here, right? So this, I think, is I covered I also refreshed with your old portion of the email marketing. Yesterday we covered, and what we covered all together now, we combined. Now all the things for you to start an email marketing campaign, we already kept it there. Now, to start off with this, what is the first thing you should do? Number one, I would like you to note down this is one. Your data collection, which I have been talking about, setting a goal of having a 10,000. Please do daily work on it. As I mentioned, it is not a one-day job, it's a continuous job, number one. Number two, make a chart of your 12 months, or 12 months is around 52 weeks. What you talk about your email campaigns. At least think about the first month, 4 weeks of a campaign, what you start with. Each week, what you're planning to do. So with that, we will start making a content. So you need to have a strategies. For example, some of the companies which we receive an email, you can go and look into the strategy. You might have read that one. You can see there's one consulting company, they keep sending a consulting tips. And the consulting tips, I read consulting tips, but it has an affiliate link with that. When you click on, it goes to an affiliate website and buy the products. So, but I read the mail because I like the content part, right? So once in a while, I might buy or I might forward. So that's the expectation he's keeping for marketing part. Okay, so this aspect is very important for you to have, to keeping a result in mind. Okay, so to do a campaigning part. So once you do this one campaigning part, what is it? All the data you collected. Now all other competitors, how they're doing. Look at the subject line, subject matter, and which topic we talk about it, and the topic list we take it. Then after that topic, continuous content is ready. Then every week which you are sending, it should be, a pattern. You keep it on or with a topic. In addition to that, as I mentioned, it is a separate normal email campaigning along with the other digital marketing campaign. Especially when you're doing a PPC campaign, it's a very important. Especially when you're doing a display advertisement campaign, a parallel email marketing campaign is always appreciated. You can do that one. Or anytime you got a new offer from a different website, definitely you can do that one. So all the things, I think, whatever the thing we discussed last time, last one day and yesterday and today, 3 days now we completed on email marketing. So make sure that is we implement this one. Now, first up, as I mentioned, like email software, email marketing software is very important. Like MailChimp, we immediately start utilizing something and move on. Okay, so with this, actually, we completed our email marketing part. Okay, thank you so much, all of you. And a few minutes from now, I'll join in the mastermind and we continue the discussion there. Okay, so thanks a lot, and I'll see you soon there in the mastermind one.